like I thought I would kind of do something like a bit. Oh, sorry about that. So I thought that I would do something a bit different. Like I thought that, like I haven't made a tutorial in a long time, and I kind of just wanted to kind of make a video where, I would essentially explain, about how like the whole kind of process with like making music. Just I'm not gonna get like super technical because there's a lot of technical elements, but I just kind of wanted to just give you this video. Anyway, so essentially, this is FL Studio. This is like the program that I use to make music, and as far as like the steps of making music, goes. Before I explain that, I first kind of, just so you can understand what's kind of going on here. Do you see this little thing right here? The orange thing that's called lead. This is like the melody. Like do you see all these fancy little things right over here? Those are like the like, that is where I've essentially drawn. Like I've kind of manually kind of penciled in, some notes, like it's called like I've penciled in the MIDI here. Here's like where I've kind of manually drawn in the melody, and then of course, so that is the first thing that you need to understand. Second thing is like, do you see like things like this? Things like those are audio clips. This is like this is an audio clip, but it is rendered. It's one of the synthesizers that I used that originally had MIDI notes, but like making music, you use a lot of your central processing. Kind of takes a toll on that, so I had to bounce it out in order to make sure that was still audible. But anyway, and the third thing that you need to know is that do you see this thing with all the curves? This is an automation clip, and it's essentially automation clips have endless possibilities. That like they are essentially controlling some parameter or something. In this case, it's the filter. So the entire process follows that. First I would search for inspiration. Sometimes I would use other songs. In this case, in this song, like I actually made that song is, of course, that the project opened for. It's called Lost Friends Not Forgotten, and like I originally made the song 1 year ago when this pandemic first started, but now it's been a year, and I thought that like that song was okay, but I feel like I could do much better, so I made a sequel to it, which is called Lost Friends Not Forgotten Part 2. But anyway, like the process follows. First I would search for inspiration, so it was the original song, and I also based it on like one of the episodes of a TV show that I like. It was a documentary with like, it was a nature documentary called 7 Worlds, 1 Planet. It's narrated by David Attenborough, but like watching it, I kind of just read what I saw in that show, into inspiration for this song, which is pretty cool. Next, I would essentially go to write the melody and chords, and so what I essentially do is I have what is called what are called VSTs, like Virtual Studio Technology. That's what it stands for, and what is essentially paid software. Like there are some free, but the free ones aren't that good. So I essentially have like free software, which not free software. This is $200, but what I was like, I paid software that this is where the sound comes from, and essentially what I do is I plug in the melody. I pick a key, and I essentially just put it in, and then I kind of layer a bunch, and then of course the melody kind of sounds like this. Okay, so what I had to do is I had to record the melody, otherwise you just hear all the crackling, and it's just a mess because my computer, it's like I did not bounce out the melody. So like what happens is like FL Studio has to do a lot of math, takes a lot of math. It has to process an extremely it process a lot of data, which just doesn't sound that great. So but yeah, here's what the melody would sound like. Doesn't sound super great, but in the context of the entire song, it will sound good. I can show you. And of course, like after I make the melody, of course, like I do make chords, and then I'll essentially just put them into a bunch of synths, too, and they'll kind of sound like this. And then after, like, I'll take like the bass notes, and then I'll kind of plug it into some more, and then some drums. Like drums are very important. Like they add some energy, and it's just overall like a very important thing to add in like any song. No matter what genre, and also add like a couple ambient things to kind of give it some more character, so that it would normally buzz audience. And you get the point. Okay, so this is kind of just like standard stuff. I also don't think I mentioned that I also had like a 1 year experience of doing this, and I'm typically a fast learner, so I might, there have been, some weeks where I have actually been able to find time, for like where I'll make, one song every couple of days, and, it's really frustrating when you make, like I've spent 6 hours on songs, and only to find out that I'll not get a release, so it's extremely frustrating process, so it's anything but easy, and it takes a lot of dedication and perseverance.